This is the Debate Hour. And now in this corner, your host, Errol Mars.
That's right.
And in this corner, who gives a shit?
All right, we're going to do one from each sport because we're cutting it a little short today because of the interview. We'll start in the NFL. Who is a better wide receiver, Reggie Wayne or Anquan Boldin? I'm going to go Anquan Boldin on this one because I think his longevity was a little better at the end of his career. He did play very well with the Ravens, was a huge part of why they won the Super Bowl in 2012, was their best wide receiver, really the only receiver that's worked out for them. Obviously, he played Kurt Warner with the Cardinals, but beyond that, he really didn't play with an elite quarterback like Reggie Wayne, played with Peyton Manning. And both of them played alongside other Hall of Famers, so that kind of cancels. I'm going to take Anquan Boldin.
Oh, I'm definitely going with Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne was an explosive player. Yes, he played with Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James and that great team of the Indianapolis Colts. But even when they were gone and you still had Andrew Luck, the lead wide receiver on that team, really helped T.Y. Hilton really grow to his position as a wide receiver and as the second lead wide receiver on the team was Reggie Wayne. Leadership, great, talented, Hall of Famer, Reggie Wayne.
All right, let's go to hockey. Obviously, Fleury's still playing right now, so more in his career could happen. Who is the better goaltender, Marc-Andre Fleury or Ed Belfour? I'm going to take Belfour because I think Fleury was helped out by better teams in his career. The Penguins, obviously, with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. I know he was big in their first cup, but he was also bad in the playoffs for a lot of other times. Belfour with the Blackhawks.
You weren't even alive for Eddie Belfour.
I know, I wasn't.
I was.
I know. I can still debate with the numbers. Belfour, better GAA in his career, not far behind on the save percentage. And he was not bad and not great in the playoffs for the Chicago Blackhawks, but they weren't as good of a team as the Penguins are, and even Vegas now, too, with Fleury. So I'm going to take Belfour.
I'm going to go with Eddie Belfour, too. What Eddie Belfour did for the Chicago Blackhawks in those times, with the Chris Chelios of the world, with the Jeremy Roenick's of the world, and that was a great Blackhawks team. But what he did and really relinquished that goaltending position in the 90s and really the late 90s was because all the great goalies that were there. Dominik Hasek was there, John Van Beesbroek, Mike Richter. Nobody really stood out. But when the goaltending really started to progress in the mid-90s, Eddie Belfour was the big name. Then it started progressing with all the other goalies. So I'm going to go with Eddie Belfour. He was the more talented goalie in his career than Marc-Andre Fleury.
All right, let's go to the NBA. Who is a better shooting guard / small forward, Allen Houston or Jason Richardson?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm going to take Houston because I think he was a little bit better of a shooter overall, better three-point shooter in his career. Prowess with the Knicks in the 90s, could shoot a lot, whether he came off the bench, whether he started. He did a lot better, much better free throw shooter. Richardson was a better rebounder, obviously bumped around different teams, but I think Houston at his peak was a better player.
I think Allen Houston, too. First of all, he was more of a leader, very quiet. Jason Richardson was more of a yappy guy. And Jason Richardson, by the way, he really was a journeyman at the end of his career. Allen Houston only played for two teams. He played for, obviously, the Knicks, and he played for the Detroit Pistons. So he didn't really change different teams. So he really solidified himself as one of the leaders for the New York Knicks when he was traded there with Grandmama. So I'm going to go with Allen Houston.
All right, one more. This will be our baseball one. Who is a better versatile infielder to play multiple positions, Paul Molitor or Steve Garvey?
Oh.
I'm going to take Molitor because I think what he did at his position at that time was a lot tougher than Garvey. Obviously, they both played multiple positions, but a 306 career batting average, had 504
Is Garvey
stolen
a Hall
bases.
of Famer? I don't think he is.
No, there's a big debate on whether he should be or not. Like, he's one of those guys right on the fringe. Molitor's already in. He was a World Series MVP, and 306 batting average. I know Garvey has the Gold Gloves, a little more All-Stars, but I think Molitor, playing all the positions he did and hitting all the home runs he did, 234 was a lot for a middle infielder at that time, so I'm going to take Molitor.
Molitor was a better hitter. Garvey was a better defensive player. But Molitor, really what he did in the playoffs really solidified who he was throughout. He was an elite hitter, could do everything, could also play defense. He did win a Gold Glove here and there. And I watched both of them play. And Garvey was, again, a sensational player. Molitor's the Hall of Famer, and he won the MVP. So I'm going to go with Paul Molitor.
Alrighty, so that will conclude our One Sport a Day Debate Wars. Now we move on to Crunch Time.
It's time for Crunch Time.
Read the time. Got to see the pitch.
All right, we'll start in the NHL with the Vladimir Teresenko trade. Buy or sell? Vladimir Teresenko trade will be completed by next week.
I'm going to buy that. I think it's going to happen. I think they need to. If the Islanders are going to do it, they need to do that because preseason's about to start. What, a week and a half away, 2 weeks away? You need to get him figuring it out. They're practicing already on the ice. The new stadium is opening up. So Teresenko, this will be a great opportunity to get to know some of the players. So I think it will happen by sometime at the end of next week.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it too. I think it's inevitable. We were saying the prospects that St. Louis wants it really coming into closure. That Mayfield's the main guy they want. And again, I think the Islanders have enough of the same of the other type of prospects to make the money work too. I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. Plus, again, the other guys are going to sign soon too. I think they're just waiting on that kind of trade, so I'm also going to buy it. All right, let's go to some college football. There's some rumors that BYU could end up in the Big 12 if their other teams start moving around. They already lost Oklahoma and Texas, obviously. So buy or sell, they will end up in the Big 12.
I think it should be a sell. Why would BYU want to be there? I don't think they fit over there. They're more of a small school type of divisional school. I don't think it makes any sense, but I'm going to sell that they're not going to get there right away. I think eventually they will, but I don't think it's good for the school. So that's just my opinion.
I think it is good for the school, but I am going to sell.
Well, it's going to put more money in their pocket,
right.
But are they going to really get the players that they want to win? That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm still going to sell it because I think they're going to look in other areas first. BYU's been steadily good, but I think the Big 12, especially with the ACC, the Big 10, and the Pac-12 now
I think
having
it's a
an
bad
alliance.
move for BYU.
I don't think it's a bad move for BYU. I think the Big 12 is going to explore other options first. I think Boise State's going to be the main thing they're going to target, especially if they don't go to the Pac-12. They're going to explore maybe a team like UCF. I could see like a Coastal Carolina. I think they're going to look at that first before they look at BYU, who's had some good years, some bad years, but yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to sell it. Buy or sell, the Yankees' win streak will continue to at least 15 games.
No, I sell that. I think they'll lose one of these games against Oakland. If the Yankees want to get their heads back into this game and try to compete, when you're on this winning streak, you think you're invincible. You don't want to feel like you're invincible and keep moving to invincibility. You want to know that you can lose and get back into the groove of things. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to sell that.
I'm going to sell it too. I think Oakland is just a little cold right now. I think they really got rattled when Chris Bassett last week got hit on the head. I think that really hurt them mentally. They were all sympathizing for him, and they're not going to be this bad forever. The Oakland's too good of a team. They're too complete of a team the way they've played this year. I think they'll get it back going, and I think they'll definitely win one, maybe even two from the Yankees this weekend. So I will also sell it. Buy or sell, Damian Lillard will be traded to the Boston Celtics. They're thinking Christmas.
I sell that. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than that till the trade deadline, which will probably be sometime around February after the All-Star break. That's where I see Damian Lillard if he gets traded. I don't think it's going to be before Christmas. I think Chauncey Billups will open up his mouth one way or another sometime this year. That's going to piss off Damian Lillard, which will push him out. And I don't think they're good enough to win a championship, especially the way the Western Conference has configured itself this offseason.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it too. I think the Celtics are still dealing with a lot of their own money issues as right now.
He doesn't fit with the Celtics.
Yeah, you mentioned the Horford contract. They just paid Jaylen Brown a big contract. I mean, he earned it last year the way he played before he got hurt, but still, there's a lot of question marks with that too. I think the Celtics will try to make a splash maybe next offseason without having to trade away their assets because they're running out of the draft picks that they were so flourished with for a while, and I don't know if it's.
And look what they got: Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and what did they win with them? Nothing.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. I'm going to sell it as well. All right, buy or sell. Former Giant Olivier Vernon will sign with the New York Jets.
I'm going to say buy because the Jets need pass rushers. So whatever works, whatever helps. So I'm going to buy that. He's a pass rusher. I don't know how good of a pass rusher what he was once with the Giants and the other teams he played for, but
Miami.
He can fill in some of the voids that the New York Jets are lacking.
I'm going to sell it because with all the injuries they have, I don't know if I want to risk another injury-prone pass rusher if you're the Jets. I would gamble after somebody that maybe doesn't have a complete skill set, but at least he's going to be durable.
Is there rumors that they're looking at him?
No, but I figured a New York connection maybe.
Because I didn't hear any rumors about that.
Because Vernon could play in New York when he was healthy with the Giants. He was great his first season, was good before he got hurt in his second season. So I just brought it up as a possibility, but I'm going to sell it just because I just don't think they are going to be able to risk that kind of thing. All right, we'll go back to the NHL. Former Ranger and Islander Derek Brassard now with the Flyers and Alain Vigneault again. Buy or sell, this season he will surpass either 60 points or 27 goals, their career highs.
60 points possibility, 27 goals, not a chance. So I'm going to sell that. I just don't see it. There's a chance for 60 points. But over there with the Philadelphia Flyers, we all know what Alain Vigneault does. He goes there for 1 year, the team plays well, and then they fall apart. And their goaltender, who was a top-notch goaltender, absolutely fell apart last year. Yeah. And he was one of the elite goaltenders everybody thought it was going to be. Top 5 goalie in the NHL. And he fell all the way. He was like the 30th ranked goalie in the NHL from top 5. So that's bad news for Alain Vigneault.
Yeah, I'm going to sell both of them. I think the Flyers, the other offensive depth they accumulated, I think Brassard will be bumped down a little bit more to the third line because they just gave Giroux Giroux an extension. He's obviously going to be their first-line guy. He might be a second-line center in some platoons, but he's also been streaky wherever he's played so far. He did well with the Islanders in a small sample, but he also struggled with Colorado. There's a lot of offensive talent, so I'm a little worried about that, even with the familiarity. So I don't think he gets either one. I'm going to definitely sell both of them. All right, buy or sell. Speaking of the Pac-12, ACC Big Ten Alliance, Pac-12 says they're not expanding to any teams whatsoever, even with the alliance. Buy or sell, they will still end up expanding anyway.
Oh, they're absolutely going to expand. It's money. It's all about money. Now, NCAA, NFL, NBA, NHL, why do they do this? To make more money. TV deals. It's going to happen one way or another. I'm buying it.
I am buying it too. Boise State seems so inevitable at this point, especially with the Big Ten and ACC now coming in. They've been itching to get into a power conference for a while. They just couldn't get the funds. They couldn't get the situation to make it work. So I'm also going to buy it that they will get Boise State. Buy or sell. So this is an interesting stat. Starling Marte right now is currently top 10 in both stolen bases in the American League and the National League. Right now in the American League with Oakland, he's currently 7th. There's a couple players trailing him with 17 and 16 right now. Buy or sell, he will end up first in both at the end of the season.
I'm going to sell it. Those are two stats that are very hard to accomplish. Right now, he's playing very, very well. He came from the Marlins. Oakland needed to make a trade. They needed a center fielder. He was the best center fielder available. And he's had a pretty good season, especially ever since he's been traded. So I'm very surprised that he has progressed as well as he has moving from the Marlins to Oakland. I'm going to sell that.
I'm going to sell it too because I think their offense will get going again. And they're not going to have to rely on the stolen bases as much. So I think other guys will end up catching up as well. I'm also going to sell it. I want it to happen, but I don't think so. Buy or sell. If Mark Andrews misses an extended period of time for the Ravens, they will miss the playoffs completely.
Oh, I sell that. Mark Andrews is a good player. He's a blanket for Lamar Jackson. And I know everybody keeps saying that the Ravens don't have enough offensive weapons. They made a move for an offensive weapon this year. They made another move last year to add offensive depth. Let's see what this team is with some of the young wide receivers they have. And Lamar Jackson, he's an elite quarterback. He wants the money. He needs to prove it. So I am going to sell that. I still think they can make the playoffs.
I'm going to sell it too. They've overcome the lack of targets for years and still been okay making
Their defense
the playoffs.
is really good.
Even though the receivers aren't great, they're still improved from where they were last year, so I'm also going to sell it. All right, one more. Bradley Beal will be a New York Knick.
I'm going to buy it. I think if there's anybody that the Knicks are going to go after when it comes to a superstar, they wanted to bring in a New York guy, Kemba Walker. That's why Kemba Walker is there. Damian Lillard already came out and said that he doesn't want to go anywhere, and if he does become available, I think the Knicks have already moved on from Damian Lillard. I think Bradley Beal fits the New York Knicks culture, what they're looking for, a wing defender that could shoot and fit that offense. They need that type of player. So I'm going to buy that. I think it'll happen. If it does happen, it'll be at the trade deadline this year, sometime in February. So I'll buy it.
I'm going to buy it too, because I think once they got the point guard combo, they're now out on Damian Lillard. I think they're out trading for other point guards, signing other point guards, so they can prioritize a shooter. They can prioritize a wing guy. We mentioned it in the fourth segment. There's a lot of guys that get traded.
They're not going to have to pay Kemba Walker that top end money.
So I think it's inevitable. The Knicks need that kind of splash. They're not going to get a free agency necessarily because of the risk. Again, we've seen the Knicks hyped up with everybody, and now all of a sudden they haven't been able to get anybody since Amari Stoudemire. So I think they'll try to do it in the trade route. I think Bradley Beal's the perfect guy. I think they will get it done. I don't know how quickly they'll get it done, but they'll get it done, I think, at some point. So I will also buy it.